I'm watching this documentary about air guitar competition, and they get up on stage and air guitar to popular, known, often heavy metal songs, from my understanding, by the look of it, certainly. And the, Jamie's, the, problem, I'm sure, came to, I don't know how quickly you tell us how quickly you figured it out, was to, even in a documentary, just because it's nonfiction doesn't mean you can automatically get the publishing and performance rights to a song and have it be playing in your footage. I know from a classmate of mine that had a documentary about Oliver North, and at a party in the background, a Nirvana song was playing. And but like 2 days before their big premiere, they got a call from whatever record company saying, get that out or pay us our money. And they had to make a sound alike in like a day, open the mix, put it in. So no one's safe from this sort of thing, even though you could argue that, it's a true story. It's in the background, and it's, integral. But, that doesn't mean that Jamie has enough money to pay lawyers to fight this off, and certainly not enough for the rights. I'm assuming that it would have been in the millions of dollars. But tell me a little bit about it, Jamie, because, interesting challenge to do a music that is so, dependent on having tons of music, and then having to use, music that you could get, that you could afford, and not the music they were actually performing to. So what was that like?
Yeah, so I foolishly went into this thinking, oh, we'll figure out music rights later on. We'll figure it out. I don't know what we're gonna do. We'll figure it out. And I was working with, I had an assistant editor, her name is Roselle, and I was like, Roselle, just for fun, can you do a little research for me? Let's figure out how much this is going to cost, because I knew that music rights were going to be a lot of money, and I thought, well, maybe I could selectively, you know, license two or three, selective works, or see what I had the finances for. So at the beginning of the film, we have a character called the Lost Heartbreaker, and he's air guitaring to American Girl by Tom Petty. And I was like, Roselle, please figure out the what that would cost. And she went away and and kept me updated on it. And she had to figure out the person, the group that owned the catalog is different than the group that owned the actual rights. I might be misspeaking about this, but there was levels of rights we needed to clear. And she was kind of, going around in circles and trying to figure this out. She finally came back with the quote, and I believe Just American Girl was going to be over $10,000 for 30 seconds of what I needed. And the reason that I might be misquoting the number is because I think I passed out when she told me said number. So it was just ridiculous. And then I said, well, okay, Judas Priest, can you go check this out? And it was like basically the same result. So I was realizing, I never wanted to be a music supervisor. I never wanted to deal with this. B, like Roselle had much more patience than I did. And C, we had $0. We had $0 for music. So we had to start getting really, really creative. And we actually had a sound designer who did do some tracks for us. But the other place that this music came from is it came from Eric Moline, my co-producer, and his bands. So he had a couple bands that we were able to get the rights to, and that really helped out a lot. But there was no way. I don't even know. I can't even speculate how much licensing all that music would have been, because we just gave up after I almost had, a heart attack. But it would have been probably quadruple the amount of money I spent on the rest of the film. So the part in the movie that you're talking about, it's Bohemian Rhapsody. And Roselle was like, do you want me to figure out how much it would be to license Bohemian? I was like, no, we don't need to go through this again. We can't afford it. So we had to come up with like how it's Bohemian Rhapsody, but we're not licensing Bohemian Rhapsody, and like that's the only thing we could think of. You know, I think the only thing that would have made that particular scene better is if we had crickets in it. But because there's this stupid text that comes on, and what song they're all air guitaring to. So we kind of call attention to the fact that we don't have money to do this, and this is a music documentary that's not using any of the music that it should. So it's kind of absurd, but it fits with the absurdness of the subject matter.